What's going on, gamers? My name is John with Gamester81.com. This episode, I'll be reviewing the brand new Neo Geo X Gold System Limited Edition. That's to my left. To my right is the original Neo Geo AES home console, which came out in 1991. This came out to celebrate the 20th anniversary, according to Tomo and SNK. But it's been more than 20 years, so I'm a little confused on how that necessarily works. But anyway, nevertheless, I wanted to open this up. I'm really excited about this system. It's no secret, I absolutely love the Neo Geo. What this is, it's essentially a handheld, but it has a docking station. You can actually use it as a home console as well, so it's kind of a two-in-one. That's what the limited edition is all about. Retails for $199.99, basically $200 US dollars. It's still available, so if you guys are interested in checking it out, you can get it online, websites like Amazon.com, GameStop.com. They still carry it as of last time I checked anyway. They are planning on releasing handheld version only, where you can get just the handheld itself, and that's going to retail for $130 when that comes out. I believe that's due out in February sometime, but pretty cool handheld. And what's cool about this bundle right here, it comes with 20 built-in games, and it also comes with one special limited edition game, which is Ninja Masters, which is cool. It's stated here, so that's kind of a limited edition bundle exclusive, and they do plan on making more games for it as time goes on. So that's pretty cool. As far as new games for the system that's never been released before, that's yet to be seen, but I know they have plenty of Neo Geo games that they can definitely put out for the system, which I'm really excited to see what they come out for. Now, as far as pricing goes, if you were to get all 20 games and a Neo Geo AES, even in today's market, you're going to look to spend around $2,500. So it's definitely a very expensive system to collect for. In fact, if you were looking to get more into the Neo Geo and you don't necessarily want to pick this up, I recommend getting to the MVS, which is the arcade, and you can pick up really cool consoleized MVS systems, which I've done several reviews on several different models. I'll put links below, you can check those out as well. Before I do a system unboxing and show you how the Neo Geo X Gold works, let me show you a comparison of the box art and show you, it is very similar, as you can see from the cover here. They both have handles, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see that. That's definitely a throwback. This system here, the Neo Geo X Gold, was developed by SNK, but was manufactured by a company called Tomo. So they didn't necessarily make the system, but they definitely licensed it. But here's the first, this is the box for the Neo Geo AES. Now, the reason they call it gold is because there was actually, back in the day, there was a gold and silver bundles for the Neo Geo AES home console. The gold bundle would come with 2 controllers, plus an additional game. It came with Fatal Fury or Magician's Lord. I think Baseball Stars was one of them as well, where the silver only came with the AES and 1 controller. Back in the day, games were very expensive, hundreds of dollars. And because of that, not many were sold, and they're very hard to find today and very expensive as well. But this is the cover box. It says, I love the thing here, Quantum Leap Forward in video entertainment. That's pretty awesome. And you can see the side, nothing really too exciting there. And on the back, it shows the console. It shows different screenshots of games. Pretty cool. Okay, let's show you in comparison. Let me show you the box work for the X Gold. As you can see, very similar in style. Even the side art is a little bit similar, but they got the new Neo Geo logo here that's updated. Now on the back, there's a bunch of games that are included, 20 as I mentioned before, and I'll put a list of all those games below in the description box so you guys can check it out. I think some of them are really great. In fact, I'll name a few. Metal Slug is an awesome game. Fatal Fury series, Samurai Showdown, Baseball Stars, NAM 1975, to kind of give you an idea of how many games are included. As I mentioned before, Ninja Masters was a exclusive game that came exclusively for this bundle. So if you like that game and you want to get this bundle, it's something to consider. It also has a docking station, which is great. It has the console itself, the handheld, and it has a joystick, which is pretty awesome. And it shows you, highlights what's here, limited edition Neo Geo X game card. It comes with 1 AV out component cable, 1 HDMI cable. You can play in high depth, which is pretty sweet. 1 Neo Geo X station power supply. That's where a docking station, you can power it up. Now let's open this up and see what's inside. There are actually 2 smaller boxes. You have to the left, it includes the Neo Geo X station, the handheld, HDMI cables, instruction manual. On the right, 1 arcade stick, Neo Geo X game card, Ninja Masters, AC power adapter, and AV cable. So let's open up this right box first, see what's inside. Open this up and I have AC adapter. It looks very similar to, it could plug into a PSP actually. Although looking at it closely, it looks like the output is 5 volts, 1500 mA, where I think a PSP is 2000 mA. So I'm not quite sure if it would work, but I know looks like the input is pretty much the same. Also have your AV cables, which is the red, yellow, white. Here is the joystick. Actually, it looks almost identical to an AES joystick. You get the clicking noise there. Got pad A, B, C, D, start, select. It's USB, which is nice, and I've heard you actually can hook this up to a PlayStation 3 and use it as an arcade stick on the PS3, which is nice. You can also use it for MAME, so if you have any MAME programs on your computer, you can use this for that. So that's a huge plus. I was thinking to myself that they should have done wireless because it would have been a lot easier, but the fact that you can use this for MAME and your PS3, I think that's an extra bonus as well. On the back, you got the Neo Geo arcade stick, SNK logo on the back. Let's compare this to a standard Neo Geo AES controller, which is this right here. And almost, as you can see on the comparison size, it's almost identical. From a naked eye, it looks, even the weight is pretty much the same. It feels the same as far as quality of plastic goes. One thing I've always noticed about the Neo Geo controller joystick, at least, is that the cord is very, very short typically. Where this, the Neo Geo X, the cord is about a little over 4 feet long, so you really shouldn't have any issues. So that's a nice bonus as well. Box number 2, I have the instruction manual. Also have HDMI cables, which is nice because you can hook up nicely to your high-def television, which is great. Here's the instruction manual. Shows you how to hook it up. Multiple languages, which is nice. Here is the system itself, or the docking station, I should say. Docking station looks very similar to a Neo Geo AES console. It's a little bit smaller. Compare the sizes here in a moment. It also has this flap, but the flap doesn't open. That's just for looks. You have this menu button here. This actually clicks. Either on, off. This is player 1, player 2, USB. You can open this up. This is where the handheld actually docks. I think that's really cool. So the handheld docks in there. You hook this up to your TV, and you can use it just like an AES console or Neo Geo. That's pretty sweet. On the back, you have your DC in, your AV out, HDMI out as well. Very well done there. Here's the handheld itself. Has a protective layer here. Please turn off the Neo Geo before connecting to the system. Okay. Actually, this is a lot bigger than I was expecting, and the quality is really well done. You've got a nice matte finish in the back, SNK logo on the back here as well. I remember when this was first rumored to come out, beginning of the year, it was like a lot of people thought it was fake. It's really exciting to see this actually thing come out. Take out the protective covering here. You have your start button, A, B, C, D. You get your analog stick, which clicks. I guess they did that because this clicks too. I guess they did that to kind of replicate the sound. You have your menu button here. On the top, you have your L1, L2, R2, R1 buttons. That's new to a Neo Geo. You also have your HDMI out, so you can hook up directly to your TV. You have your AV out, so you can also hook up to your TV that way. This must be the cord to go to your docking station, right there. This is your SD card slot where your cards would actually plug into your games. Your on and off right here. Your brightness levels on the bottom, up and down. Your volume, up and down as well. The 4.3-inch screen. I don't see anywhere for power, so it looks like you have to dock up to the station to power it up, which is disappointing because if you want to take this on the road, it's kind of a pain to bring this with you as well. So it's too bad that you can't just plug in the AC adapter directly to this. I don't see anywhere you can do that. As far as the system goes itself, it runs off a Linux-based operating system, so the games run off of emulator. It has a CPU of 1 gigahertz, 2 gigs of internal storage. Memory is 128 megabytes of RAM. As mentioned before, 4.3-inch screen, displays 480 by 272. Now I'm going to compare this to other similar handhelds as far as size comparisons. Here's a Dingu, which I've heard this actually runs very similar off the same emulator as a Dingu does. You can see the size, it's significantly bigger. I just recently picked up this Dingu. I'm going to do a review on it soon. See, the screen is actually a lot bigger than the Neo Geo X. Now I'm going to compare this to a Sony Vita. You can see lengthwise. It's almost about the same size as a Vita. The screen is different than a Vita. Compare this to a 3DS Model 1. Normal model. It's longer than 3DS. The screen is bigger. It's not as thick. 3DS XL, still longer. Not as thick. Screen is smaller than 3DS XL. Power this thing on. So it's not a touch screen or anything like that, so it doesn't work as a touch screen, so you got to use your thumb pad here. Neo Geo games. These different games I have. Baseball Stars 2, Metal Slug. I wonder if someone's going to hack this eventually so you can play more games on it. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. That's how fast it loads. The volume is at max. Doesn't seem very loud. Runs pretty quick though. Great shooter, definitely recommend it. Let's go back to the menu. Quit, I'm used to a touchscreen. So here's the extra game I got. This is the exclusive game that came out because I got the limited edition bundle. This is Ninja Masters. It's just a typical SD card, and you plug it into the side like so, and you would just basically load it where it says Neo Geo Games. This would pop up there. Now they do plan on making more games for it eventually as well, and release them. I'm not sure how much this will retail for, to be quite honest with you. As mentioned before, Tomo is a manufacturer, so there's Tomo's logo there. Battery life on this thing is fully charged battery. It's 3 to 4 hours of gameplay, so you definitely want to make sure it's charged when you're not using it. So it doesn't last too long, unfortunately. I'm going to power this thing off. Now I'm going to show you a comparison between the Neo Geo X docking station and the Neo Geo AES system. So here's the size of the docking station. Here is the AES console. You can see it looks very, very similar. You have the reset button. This is the menu button where that would be. Artwork, very similar. You can see, just in size alone, it's smaller. But they still do a nice job as far as just making the look of it look right. You get the power switches on the same place where they would be. This thing doesn't open up. This is not compatible. The Neo Geo X is not compatible with any AES cartridges or MVS cartridges or even CDs, obviously. So you can only use SD cards. Now to dock the handheld into the station, all you need to do is there's a switch here. Open this up. It just lines up right here like so. And it's docked. And you go ahead and close this. Okay, so I've got the docking station hooked up to the TV through HDMI. We'll see how that looks. I've got the joystick in there in the first controller port. I got the menu button. One thing I've noticed is in order to get this to work, here's a switch on and off. It doesn't work if the handheld is in off position in the station, which is kind of weird. That doesn't automatically turn it on. So what you have to do, you've got to turn it off, open it up. You got to make sure that the handheld is in on position. Close it up. And then you can flip it on, and it takes a couple seconds to boot up. You'll see how long it takes here in a second. One thing I also want to mention is the joystick is not compatible with any AES system. It's only compatible with the Neo Geo X, any MAME, and obviously PS3 as well, as I mentioned before. Kind of weird, there's no sound here in the menu screen. Kind of weird, but I got the game card in there. King of Fighters. Even though it's through HDMI, it's not necessarily high-depth graphics. So keep that in mind as well. It looks a little bit blurry. Let's check out the game and see if it boots up. Ninja Masters, recognize it's in there. Load time's pretty quick. Press start. Fighting game. That's what the Neo Geo was really known for, was the fighting games. It does feel like a Neo Geo experience though, with a joystick and everything, I must say. It's pretty cool. Let's go back to menu. It's going to ask me play or quit. And quit. Again, no music or sound at the menu, which is again kind of odd. Check out one more game you guys might know. Definitely want to check out. Magician's Lord. It's a really hard game, but a lot of fun as well. And to power it off, you just simply power it off. So it does turn off this handheld now. As far as the handheld being on itself, is it not powered off? No, you got to power it off manually as well. It says, please turn off Neo Geo X before connecting to the system. So turn off. And it should be charging. Well, overall, what do I think about the Neo Geo X Gold limited edition? Well, I think it's a pretty good system overall. If you're looking to get into the Neo Geo, it's a good way to start. I think $200 is probably the right price point, considering it comes with 20 games, a joystick, a docking station. It's pretty cool. It's definitely a love letter to the Neo Geo. But a couple things I don't like about it. I don't like that there's no option to power it up externally without using the docking station. If you do a lot of traveling like I do and you want to bring a handheld with you, it's very cumbersome to bring the docking station with you. At that point, it's not necessarily portable anymore. So that's kind of a pain. I also don't like the fact that you have to power it on and off within the docking station. The docking station, when you power that on and off, it doesn't register that it turns on and off. That's kind of a pain as well, but those are pretty minor. I would recommend the system if you're looking to get into more in the Neo Geo. If you actually love the Neo Geo like I am, definitely check this out. But if you're diehard and you want to get more serious into Neo Geo collecting, definitely looking to get a consoleized Neo Geo MVS. That's really the place to be when it comes to great games and getting games fairly cheap and playing it on the real thing. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.